what's up, guys? This is Tom Taylor chatting today with the middleweight champ himself, Reinier De Ridder. RDR, it's always a pleasure to chat with you, man. You've been so good to us over the last few years, giving us your time. How's everything going, man? How's life over there?
Life is very good, very busy. I just came back from teaching jiu-jitsu and then training, grappling for an hour, um, getting some food in. Then I'll do some ultrasound diagnostics for a couple of hours as my physio thing, and then spar MMA. So it's a lot of stuff.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's a busy day. Now, I think I saw on Instagram. Were you back in the States recently doing some training, or were those old pictures? What's the story there?
No, I was just out there in Texas for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Nice. So is that something? Obviously, you were with the Danaher squad. I'm guessing. Is that something you're planning on doing fairly regularly? Going to see them?
Yeah, man, it's so valuable. Those guys, the wealth of knowledge they have is amazing. They really invest their time in me, helping me out, helping me prepare specifically for this matchup. It's such a gift, man. It's wonderful to be there.
Yeah, of course, you don't want to discredit your own team or anything like that in the jiu-jitsu you've learned over there, but do you feel like there's just kind of like another level of knowledge available at that gym?
Definitely, they're the top of the heap right now. And there's a thing, grappling for MMA is just different than grappling for grappling.
I'm sure. Well, I got to ask you about the elephant in the room. Obviously, I haven't spoken to you since the fight with Malykhin. I don't know if you've really spoken to anybody since then, but at least in terms of interviews, obviously. But obviously, didn't go as planned. I mean, by your estimation, what happened in there?
I got caught, man.
I
I
hear that
fucked up.
happens in MMA. Yeah.
I fucked up. Yeah, man. I did fuck up. That's what happened. Like after one of the first punches I got hit with, I just wasn't myself. Made a
Mhm.
few mistakes entering into the pocket, and yeah, just came up short. Got hit, got hurt, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it happens in this sport, as everyone always says, and you handled it with total class and dignity as always. I mean, from cage side, it looked like the problem for me was just obviously that you got tagged early, and then the takedowns didn't come quite as easily as you thought. I mean,
No, but
what
the
was
takedowns were fucking sloppy too, man. It was oh, shit. That wasn't me. That
was that a
wasn't me.
product of being hit early? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so
Well, and there's a lot of stuff. Of course, if something like this happens, you rethink everything you do, and there's a lot of stuff that I could have done better preparing for that matchup. Look,
mhm.
um, I after 16 wins, kind of beating everybody pretty easily. I might have gotten a bit too cocky. I thought I can do this to anybody in the world easily. So I take this fight a weight class up on 5 weeks notice. I don't really have time to prepare. I don't really have time to gain weight. The guy has 10 kilos on me in the fight. I just a bit more than I could chew.
Mhm. It seems like already though you're kind of gleaning wisdom and lessons from that experience. Like, do you see this as something that's going to make you a better fighter?
Nah, it's making me a better fighter already, man. Really,
Yeah.
I've really taken a lot of steps, and
Mhm.
it's weird to say, but maybe before the fight, I didn't do as much as I could have, and which is not typical for me. So, well, all in all, what I've taken from it is I can be a little bitch and whine about it for the next couple of years, or I can set things straight, learn from this, grow, and I intend on being the best fighter in the world still, and I
Mhm.
intend to revenge this loss.
Well, I certainly believe you can do it. Now, I don't want to spend all morning talking about that fight. I'm sure it's a bit of a sore spot for you, but
No, it's
it
okay,
was a
man. It's okay. Everybody, I talk to everybody about this, and it's good to be reminded of it. Though I don't need any reminding because I think about it a
mhm,
lot, of course. But
mhm,
I want to put it in a positive spotlight. I want to make this something positive instead of hanging around and
mhm.
whining about the negative stuff.
Well, I appreciate your openness and your candor, certainly as always. Nick and I were cage side for that one, and it was a bit of a scary scene as you were leaving. They had you on the stretcher, and
Yeah.
It's just scary scene, especially, we consider you a friend of the site at this point. What was going through your mind? Kind of, do you remember anything from the end of that fight? And what were the kind of hours after that fight like for you? Where does it kind of start getting clearer for you?
Well, it was pretty quick in the back. Was That's what I remember again. There's bits and pieces of the fight itself I remember.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and after that, I was pretty much okay straight away. Back to normal pretty quickly. Didn't really have any complaints as far as headaches or nausea or whatever. As you can hear, I'm still kind of coherent speaking wise, so I think I'm okay, but I really want to recover well from this. So that's what I'm focused on right now. So I
Yeah.
haven't.
So
I'm just starting to kickbox a bit again, but I'm really careful of getting hit. I just want to. Well, it's the first time I've ever been hit, basically in a fight in a
mhm.
bad way. Um, so I wanna do everything to recover well from this.
Yeah, so that's a big focus for you. Obviously, you're a very intelligent guy. You're aware of the risks of this sport. You're taking some time for brain health and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and just in terms of the mental side, I mean, it was your first loss. I imagine getting home back to your family really helped kind of deal with that. But how long did it take to sort of get over the sting of that one?
I'm never getting over that, man. Till I revenge this loss.
Well, you keep saying that revenge, like you want this one back. You're not done with Malykhin.
No, sir.
Okay. So what do you do differently to make sure the rematch, goes your way?
I take some time to prepare for this one. I
Hmm.
I've really been working on footwork stuff. I take a couple of months, like 3 months at least, when I accept a fight, to be able to gain some kilos, get at least close to like 100 kilos, 102, um, and there's a lot of uh, intricate technical stuff I can do differently, but it's a lot of work, and I'm more than prepared to do everything that's needed to beat this guy.
It's interesting you mentioned, the shorter time you had to prepare for this one. That's a detail that seems like it's sort of fallen through the cracks when people talk about this fight. It wasn't, it's not like you had a super short camp, but it was shorter. This one kind of came together quickly. A lot of people were
Yeah.
surprised when it was announced. You feel like with a longer camp, with more time to strategize, it would go better for you. I mean, I guess it goes without saying.
Not even just strategize, but he came down from heavyweight. He was probably like 105 kilos in the cage. Man, it's not that easy to put on weight, man. If I maybe in the cage, if I was lucky, I was 96 kilos.
Hmm.
A pretty big gap, and then he's a power puncher. He did very well between the last his last fight before the Belarusian guy, I think, the tall guy.
Hmm. Yeah.
He was just wild punches, wild right hooks, wild left hooks, wild overhands. He was not that technical at all, and in our fight he did amazing. To be honest, his footwork was very well. His in and out work was very good. Through very straight, strong, sharp, fast punches. So he really developed a lot between his last two fights. Um, yeah.
Maybe that's a testament to your skill, and how seriously he was taking you, that he really shored up his footwork and his movement and everything to make sure that he was prepared for the challenges that you brought to the cage and the grappling that you brought to the cage. Do you think maybe? I mean, you
Maybe
forced him
who
to
knows?
level up clearly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who
Cool.
knows?
Well, you talk about the size disadvantage you had in that one. You have a new challenge ahead, taking on Tye Ruotolo. This time you're going to be the bigger guy. That's got to be a bit of a relief. I mean, how does that feel? Just speaking of the physical benefits of this one.
Well, of course that's nice, but he has his own benefits. He's a full time grappler, is fully focused on this through the years, and well, I have not been able to fully focus on grappling, of course, because I always have to do my wrestling, my cage work, my striking. So, in that regard, he has the advantage there.
Hmm. So where do you think you kind of match up with him, just in terms of skill on the mat? Relative to him, where are you? You're bigger, obviously, but you don't get to train the way that he does. Where are your skills relative to each other?
Hmm. To be honest, I'm pretty confident right now. I've been training with some of the ADCC champs there in Texas. Gordon and John have really helped me out technique wise. I've got a lot of rounds in with Bodoni, Mirigali, um, and to be honest, I think I do pretty well against those guys. So yeah, I think I can hang with the top grapplers, and I'm very excited to get a chance to show that this time.
Those coaches and training partners you mentioned, what do they think of Ty? Obviously, Ty is very highly regarded in the BJJ world now. They see him as a beatable, surmountable challenge for you.
Yeah, man. Gordon says he's basically shit, so
All right,
should
well,
be fine.
those two have had a little bit of heat recently, I guess. A little bit, some challenges going back and forth. You get to settle it for him.
Well, why not? In the represent the new wave team a bit. It will be very big honor for me.
Cool, cool. I mentioned the size difference. Obviously, how much does that matter, right? Jiu-jitsu is supposed to be the gentle art. It's supposed to help the little guy beat the big guy, but it still helps to be the big guy, right? I mean, how much of an advantage is that for you in this one?
Yeah, I think that will be a big part of it. But I don't think the difference will be that big because he's most likely gaining some weight, and it's I have to be 93, so I can't gain too much. So I don't think he'll be that much smaller. But of course, he's very fast. He's very agile. He's a great grappler. So I think it's going to be a very close matchup, very explosive. And the one who I think is very important, the one who can conserve his energy for the 10-minute round, will come out on top at the end.
hmm You mentioned 10 minutes. You think you can tap him in 10 minutes, or are you kind of expecting this one to maybe go the distance?
No, man, got to tap this guy out.
Yeah, and I guess after the one with Galvao didn't go quite the way you wanted, you didn't get the tap there. There's extra motivation to do it this time, right?
Not extra motivation, but it does give some like the Galval fight. I took on 3 weeks notice, coming from an MMA fight, not really having any time to prepare for grappling. And now I've just been grappling for months, and I'll be grappling for 2 more months before the match happens. So that gives me a lot of confidence. I can hang with the best in the world while I'm just doing MMA. Maybe I can submit one of the best in the world when I'm just focused on grappling.
Yeah, well, I can't wait to see it, and I know a lot of fans in the states are excited to watch it. I mean, how does it feel to be a part of this?
Cool, man. And there's a lot of good fights on the card. So
hmm hmm Other than your own match, I mean, are there any fights you're really excited to watch? Obviously, Ong
mm,
Law is going to be in action on this one. What are you excited for about this one?
that's cool. Ang and Van Rong, of course. Just yesterday, someone told me Soldic and Kadestam are fighting.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
a great fight too, man. Two bangers. It's a very cool fight to watch.
yeah.
Um,
So
DJ and Moraes, of course. It's stacked top to bottom.
yeah, it's a great card, man, and one Rainier De Ridder on that card too. People are excited for that one, as I said. So if this one goes your way, obviously it's jujitsu. I mean, what's the next move? Is it back to MMA? Do you want to keep grappling for a bit, give yourself a little more time, or what's the move?
No, MMA. Hopefully somewhere in July. Um, but hopefully at middleweight first, and then end of the year Malykhin at light heavyweight.
All right. Well, I like that. Very clear plan. In terms of the middleweight title defense, are you kind of looking at the Ongla and Fan Rong winner as the next challenger? What do you think there?
Maybe. No. Well,
Kind of depends how they win, maybe, or
Aung is doing very well, of course, except for the loss to Big Dash. He's kind of run through everybody else. Um, but at the moment, it doesn't get me too excited to face Aung again because of the result of the first two fights. Van Rong has been a long time since we've met, so he was my first opponent in one. So it would be more interesting to see how far he's come.
Mhm. Bit of an interesting situation for you in
Yeah,
this
it's a bit
division,
hard,
right?
right? Yeah.
Yeah, are you hoping that, maybe they'll sign some more middleweights? Like, there are a lot of great middleweights out there. Are you hoping they'll
Mhm.
sign some of these guys so you don't have to keep fighting Ong and Fen Rong and these guys?
Yeah, definitely.
Cool, cool. All right. Well, you mentioned the light heavyweight rematch, the rematch with Malykhin. You want it to happen this year. I mean, are you optimistic that with an impressive win over Ty and an impressive title defense at middleweight, this is maybe something that's conceivable for this year?
Definitely. I think I earned that right.
Hmm. And that's something that people forget, right? A lot of times when these fights end quickly, people want to see a rematch. People want to see, what you can do if things don't go south, quickly. You don't get caught by that punch right away. So you think there's still some kind of mystery and appeal to this matchup?
Hopefully. Yeah.
Cool, cool. Well, I'll ask you a few more questions here before I let you get back to your day over there. While we're talking about Malykhin, I got to ask about the fight with Bular. I know you were picking Malykhin before you fought him. I'm guessing you're more confident now that he's winning that one. How do you see that one going?
Yeah, it's still an interesting one. Bular is going to come heavy with the wrestling, right? I think pretty early on. Um, if he just that's basically the thing. If Malykhin can stop the takedown, he's going to win. Um,
Hmm.
we haven't seen Bular in a while, so maybe he's changed a lot, got a lot better. Meanwhile, but to be honest, I think Malykhin pretty much takes this easily.
Hmm. Well, back to you. You've made your goals for 2023 pretty clear, but just for the sake of wrapping it up, you're hoping that by the end of this year, you've defended the middleweight title and ideally claimed the light heavyweight title back.
That's the plan.
That's a big year. I love this, man. The confidence unshakable.
Well, I'm still the same guy. Shit happens. Um, I'm determined to get this stuff right and make good on last year.
Well, and I'm sure you've noticed, despite the loss that you had last year, your fans are, unwavering in their support. It seems like a lot of people are excited to see you back. I mean, to wrap things up, what message do you have for all the people that have been supporting you through thick and thin?
Thank you guys. Hopefully, we'll make this into a good year, and let's go.